Well, we're just a few weeks away from Cirque Du Soleil making its return to Kelowna here. And right now we're joined by some of the OVO team to talk about a little bit about Cirque Du Soleil and what the Okanagan residents can expect coming into town.
Pleasure to be here.
So first of all, tell me a little bit about yourselves and your role that you play in the Cirque world here.
All right, so I start. I'm the white spider of the show, but I do contortion act in the show too. So the show is about the insects, and we have about 3 spiders, red, black, and the white. So that's what I do in the show.
And if you hadn't tell, like, I'm not on stage, so
couldn't tell if I'm white.
This is not the stage makeup.
Yeah.
No, my name is Jenny, so I take care of everything media related. So I'm the publicist of the show. I'm also part of the tour management team. So we take care of we have 100 people, a family of 100 traveling with the show, OVO, including 52 artists like Aruna here. And so our team takes care of everything, logistics and accommodation and transportation. And then of course we have a whole team of technicians as well that help set up this whole show that will be coming here to Kelowna.
Cirque is global, but it is one thing, it did start in Canada. That
Yes,
is where
absolutely.
the history. So how did that kind of, become such a global phenomenon from, little old Canada here?
Absolutely. Started in like a small city in Quebec, and I'm from New Brunswick, so it is back home in Canada. So it's really great to be back in Canada to perform and spend the summer in Western Canada now. But they were a group of really imaginative individuals, and they wanted to really bring this idea and their vision to life, and they took a chance. They started by performing on the streets, and then performing in the States, in Los Angeles, and then it caught on, and now 30 plus years later, almost 40 years later, here we are with shows that have toured around the world in 90 countries, and it's quite inspiring.
Yeah, I think, and also one of the things about Cirque is that it doesn't only involve circus, also involves dance, music. It's a full show, so it's not like, oh, it's just circus, you just see acrobats doing things. You just see dancers on stage, you see singers singing amazing songs, and like live band as well on stage, which is quite magical. So I think everything, and actors too, like lots of actors, and that teaches a lot for us, that even though I come from a circus background, how to be more present on stage as well. And I think you just grow up your career a lot when you get into Cirque as well. And it's just a magical experience because everything combined together, it's great. I think that's why Cirque du Soleil is just so unique and famous for it.
It's almost hard to describe because it does take from
a little bit of
something for all the
everything.
senses, and then sometimes it's like even new disciplines, right? Taken from traditional circus disciplines that you train at national school, for example, circus school, but then integrated in new ways. So I think there's definitely that part that's like imaginative.
It's very whimsical. I think that is the
Absolutely,
best way to describe it.
Yeah.
But there's so many different themes of Cirque as well, all across the world. So what's different than for this one? Essentially, it's about insects and stuff, obviously. But maybe you can
each
explain
show is different.
Yeah,
of course,
exactly. But maybe you can tell me.
I think the difference of the show, like all the Cirque shows, probably they can be a bit more human, a bit more creature like something different. But the OVO is the only show that is actually about insects, and then we have to actually perform like insects. We're not walking on stage normally, we have to characterize the spider or the
The crickets,
the crickets,
scarabs,
everything. So you have to start moving
butterflies.
like them. You have to study how they move, and then you have to try to tell the audience that you are a spider, you are a cricket, you are this. Not only by the costume, because the costume and the makeup is more conceptual, but your way of moving is gonna be the final character of you.
When you were saying that you kind of have to characterize your being a spider, you have to get into those movements. How do you kind of mentally get into that spot? Do you have any sort of pre-show rituals that you have to put yourself into beforehand?
I think whenever you put on your makeup, because we learn how to do the makeup in the headquarters, we learn the moves, we train a few months just to learn the moves and actually find your own movement. It's not about copying and pasting others, or it's not about like getting movements from other people. It's just finding your own characteristics in yourself. And also learning their own makeup, doing their own makeup. Actually, that's one of the first steps that you get into character. I feel like it's very easy for me to become a spider when I have my makeup on, my costume. I was like, okay, this is me.
But music on.
Exactly. But then if I'm not with my makeup, I'm not gonna be like a spider. Like I don't feel it right, you know. So I think having the makeup on and the costume on is really, really something that you really set into the show properly.
And every artist has a different ritual or different like, music sometimes is involved, or a certain move or a certain warm up, and like the movement for each of the insects. A lot of them like have done research by looking at sometimes even birds that are closer to like the dragonfly, or there's so much. It really is a character.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it too. It's not just in big quotation, but just a circus act. It's like a circus act through a character, and it adds a whole other dimension.
Well, I mean, apart with the music, makeup, costume, sets, like it is just the whole experience in one.
And it's live music, so we have a 7-piece band, like 7 people that are a singer, so everything's happening live. You'll see them, the musicians, on stage as well, and even when you don't see them, they're playing live. So that also brings something to this live performance, because sometimes the audience will clap longer, will laugh longer. So it is a live, organic show, and it's moving every night.
Well, you know, just out of my own curiosity, like to be a part of such a cool and mind-blowing experience, like what is that like to be such a part of a cool team like that? This is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's days, you know, there's good days and there's bad days. We're human. But overall, whenever we leave work, whenever we finish the show, we do our last group act together. We just leave happy, very accomplished. And then sometimes, I guess you just reflect a little bit how grateful you are to be on stage with so many amazing, talented people. So like when I joined Cirque, I was like, this is mind-blowing, because I could never think that I could be here. But like, because there's just so many brilliant talents. We have gymnastics, Olympic gymnastics amongst us too, and even beyond, like, you know, people like older people performing with us. I feel like there's some people that are 50 years old, 55, even 60, they're still performing, and that's so inspiring to me.
So much experience.
It's like so much experience, so much like lifetime stories, you know. I mean, that's just what I feel, and that's the moments that I feel like, okay, this is very, very inspiring. That's what I'm grateful for.
And I think that it's for a lot of us, it was a dream. And it's interesting, like I think for artists, but also backstage, like we have so many people that, for me, for sure, it was a dream to you know, Cirque du Soleil is so well known. And when I kind of understood that there was a possibility for someone to tour and not be on stage and not do contortion, because I don't have those skills, it's definitely really interesting. And we're such a diverse, you know, group of people with 25 different countries. And I think that we watch the show with my team at the end of the show almost every day to just, you know, remind ourselves. And you're right, like they smile on stage, but we're also, it's such a good feeling. And probably even more so after the past 2 years, where everything stopped, you know, show business and live entertainment was basically halted to a stop. So to be back on stage, or to be back working backstage to bring up this show to Kelowna and to all these cities, I think we do it with definitely a greater appreciation and and a lot of gratitude.
Yeah, I think whoever came back because of the passion, because they really loved the job, and then whoever decided to not come back, they were just moved on with their life. But whoever is here, we want to be
was a
here.
choice, absolutely.
It's definitely
It's
a choice
special.
to be here.
Yeah.
It's not like you're falling into this anymore. It's a choice.
We're full-time touring. We move every week. So
Wow.
every week we're in a different city or a different country, depending on where we are. We tour internationally. We're spending the summer in Western Canada, so that's quite exciting.
Very cool.
And we really will be here in Kelowna on June 9th through June 12th. So we'll have shows for the whole weekend, and you can go to cirquedusoleil.com/ovo, OVO, to have all the details and the tickets.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. It's awesome.